Man above the ceiling. A thief entered a student dorm at a certain university. It was an old building, so there was a decently large gap above the ceiling. He snuck in there without making a sound, and in the ceiling planks there were 2 peepholes. These holes were nicely next to each other and spaced at a perfect distance to look through. This is a great place to peek through. This is almost so perfect that it's a little creepy. So he suddenly thought, but still he put his face to it and looked down. Then his heart jumped. Someone was looking back at him. A young man was lying right beneath him. He was thin as bones and his face pale. If anything, his complexion was kind of dull, like a mummy, and yet his eyes alone stared straight up at the man above. It was like he was waiting for someone to peek through the holes. The moment he thought he was looking back at him, the man in the ceiling could no longer move. "I'm just imagining it. It's a coincidence. There's no way he could know. I just need to slide back a bit," he thought. But he had no energy to move. The man below seemed to be faintly smiling, and it was as though he'd scream the moment he turned his gaze away. Unable to turn away, the man in the ceiling found it hard to breathe as they stared at each other. His pulse sped up, and his heart pounded wildly. But the man below continued staring at him, not even blinking. So he fought on and continued to stare back. The man below seemed like he was floating up towards him. The man in the ceiling let out a scream, and then he died. Several days passed, and someone came to look at the room. The student inside had died. He was lying down, looking at the roof with his mouth slightly open. They said a month had passed since he died. He was a bedridden boarder at this school. There were students who, after starting university, lost motivation to do anything. They didn't go to class, they didn't leave their rooms, and before long, they lost the will to even eat. This student was one of them, and he died while locked in his room, staring at the ceiling. Because a student found his body, they held a funeral for him. They also cleaned his room, and later, another student moved in. He was an energetic student who had come to Tokyo from the countryside. But the night he moved in, a strange feeling woke him up as he was dozing. It was like his stomach was now empty and he was hungry. But he had eaten before going to bed. His heart pounded, and it was hard to breathe. Plus, it felt like someone was looking at him. He suddenly opened his eyes and jumped. Right above him, 2 vacant eyes were staring at him. As soon as he saw them, he found himself unable to move. His body went stiff, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move. He couldn't even scream. He desperately tried to move his limbs that felt like sticks, but then the vacant eyes started to move towards him. Just like that, the eyes pressed down on him with the plank they were behind. "Oh, I'm going to be crushed!" And then the student passed out. When the student came to in the morning, nothing was different about his room. The ceiling plank was right where it should be. There were just 2 holes where he saw those eyes. "I must have imagined it," he thought. But on the second night and the third night, the same thing happened again. It was hard to breathe, he couldn't sleep, and when he opened his eyes, those eyes were always there in the ceiling. Even if he fell asleep on his side, at some point he would roll on his back, and when he saw those eyes, they would start pressing down on him with the plank. Unable to stand it any longer, the student left the dorm. After that, another student moved in, but that student soon left as well. And several more students also moved in and out as well. One by one, they all left. So that room became well known amongst the university students as the room with peepholes. But still, when a new semester started, again, another unaware student would move in. And so, that room with peepholes became one of the school's 7 mysteries that the students always talked about. At least, until the room was torn down for renovations, and they found a white skeleton hiding in the ceiling.